A golden opportunity. When you first gave your life to Christ, who spotted the change? What was the giveaway? Maybe an old friend commented on how your language had changed, or you ran into someone at a coffee shop and they saw you reading your Bible. The initial period after you come to Christ can be difficult and awkward, because you are not who you once were, and hopefully people will begin to take notice, though they may not know how to voice it. You've been acting funny lately. What's going on? Where were you Friday night? You missed a great party. You've changed. You're not yourself anymore. As the blind man in today's passage discovered, this is a golden opportunity. It's the chance to share what has happened to you. I was hoping you'd ask, the best thing happened to me recently. I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and the hole in my heart has been filled, and I know what is going to happen to me when I die. Not everyone who hears what God has done in your life is going to be pleased. Some will mock. Others may make it their aim to tempt you to do old things, or wait for the opportunity to catch you doing something wrong so they can point it out. But for others, those aching for something more and longing to encounter God too, your story will resonate. All it takes is the right moment. God ministers to us, not just so we can be blessed, but that we might love others. Don't discount the value of your testimony. It's never too early to stand up for Christ. You may say, but I don't know enough yet. Okay, but you know Him. The blind man didn't know enough to vocalize the sinlessness of Jesus Christ, or how this enabled Jesus to be the efficacious propitiation for the sins of all mankind. He may not have had the theologically correct language, but he had first-hand experience. You don't have to know exactly how a defibrillator works to say you were brought back to life by one. You may not have the answer for every difficult question the skeptics ask, but you do know of God's amazing grace. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. Remember, don't discount the value of your testimony. It's never too early to stand up for Christ.
John 9. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, Neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me, while it is day. The night cometh, when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground, and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said unto him, Go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by interpretation, sent. He went his way therefore, and washed, and came seeing. The neighbours therefore, and they which before had seen him that he was blind, said, Is not this he that sat and begged? Some said, This is he. Others said, He is like him. But he said, I am he. Therefore said they unto him, How were thine eyes opened? He answered and said, A man that is called Jesus made clay, and anointed mine eyes, and said unto me, Go to the pool of Siloam, and wash. And I went and washed, and I received sight. Then said they unto him, Where is he? He said, I know not. They brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind. And it was the Sabbath day when Jesus made the clay, and opened his eyes. Then again the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, He put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed, and do see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, This man is not of God, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. Others said, How can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. They say unto the blind man again, What sayest thou of him that he hath opened thine eyes? He said, He is a prophet. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight, until they called the parents of him that had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, Is this your son whom ye say was born blind? How then doth he now see? His parents answered them and said, We know that this is our son, and that is born blind. But by what means he now seeth, we know not. Or who hath opened his eyes, we know not. He is of age, ask him. He shall speak for himself. These words spake his parents, because they feared the Jews. For the Jews had agreed already, that if any man did confess that he was Christ, he should be put out of the synagogue. Therefore said his parents, He is of age, ask him. Then again called they the man that was blind, and said unto him, Give God the praise. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, Whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. One thing I know, that, whereas I was blind, now I see. Then said they to him again, What did he to thee? How opened he thine eyes? He answered them, I have told you already, and ye did not hear. Wherefore would ye hear it again? Will ye also be his disciples? Then they reviled him, and said, Thou art his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spake unto Moses. As for this fellow, we know not from whence he is. The man answered and said unto him, Why, herein is a marvellous thing, that ye know not from whence he is, and yet he hath opened mine eyes. Now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of God, and doeth his will, him he heareth. Since the world began was it not heard that any man opened the eyes of one that was born blind? If this man were not of God, he could do nothing. They answered and said unto him, Thou wast altogether born in sins, and dost thou teach us? And they cast him out. Jesus heard that they had cast him out. And when he had found him, he said unto him, Dost thou believe on the Son of God? He answered and said, Who is he, Lord, that I might believe on him? And Jesus said unto him, Thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Lord, I believe. And he worshipped him. And Jesus said, For judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and said unto him, Are we blind also? Jesus said unto them, If ye were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, We see. Therefore your sin remaineth.